With the tax season approaching fast, you've probably noticed lots of news and finance terms filling up your feed. Is the tax workflow really as complicated as they say? Yes, it can be if you're not prepared. So before you delve into your tax prep this year, allow me to make it simpler and less stressful by giving you some beginner advice. This video will focus on the following 4 topics: the difference between a tax return and tax refund, 11 big tax mistakes to avoid, 5 tips to simplify your tax prep using PDFelement, and the top 5 tax refund facts of 2022. So stay tuned if you want to better your understanding of these topics. The difference between a tax return and tax refund. First, let's get the basics right. Do you know what the difference is between a tax return and a tax refund? Although the two terms may sound similar and possibly often be mistaken, you might hear someone say that a tax return has been deposited in their bank account. However, a tax return and a tax refund are actually two very different things. So what is a tax return? A tax return is a form you file each year with the IRS that details your adjusted gross income, AGI, expenses, and other financial information. Whereas a tax refund is what's issued to you by the US Treasury if in the previous year you've paid more in state or federal taxes than you needed to. For example, maybe your workplace withheld more money than was actually needed from your paycheck, or you're self-employed and wound up overpaying quarterly estimated taxes. In summary, you must first file a tax return in order to get a tax refund. However, just because you file a return doesn't mean you get a tax refund, as you might not qualify. Now let's move on to the 11 big tax mistakes to avoid. With the IRS already being backed up, the last thing you want to do is be the cause for more delay. The best way to prevent this is to be aware of the small mistakes that you can easily avoid, which are: number 1, missing the deadline. The deadline is April 18th, so don't leave things to the last minute. Prepare in advance, otherwise you might be facing a penalty. You can also apply for an extension. Number 2, using the wrong social security number. This can result in your tax return being rejected, so double check that your social security number is exactly as it appears on your social security card. Number 3, getting your name wrong. Be sure to use your full legal name, as not including all of your names could result in your tax return being rejected. Number 4, forgetting to carry the 1. Every year, the IRS finds tons of maths errors on tax returns, so be sure to use a dedicated tax software or a qualified preparer to avoid this. Number 5, screwing up your bank account number. If you are expecting a tax refund, be sure to double check this one, as it allows the IRS to directly deposit your refund into your account. Number 6, forgetting to sign your return. If you don't sign your return, it is pretty much invalid and you may need to prepare another copy. Number 7, mailing your return to the wrong address. If you're filling out a paper return, be sure to mail it to the right processing center to avoid any processing delays. Number 8, leaving out all the backup. If you're mailing a paper return to the IRS, be sure to attach all required tax forms, supporting schedules, and documents. Number 9, making the check out to the wrong entity. If you owe, make the check out to the US Treasury, as getting this one not right could result in a penalty for not paying in on time. Number 10, scrimping on stamps. Be sure that you pay the right postage amount to avoid the postal service returning it back to you. And number 11, giving up. If you've made a mistake on your tax return, fix it as soon as possible. You can make amendments to what you have already sent in by filling out the 1040X form. 5 tips to simplify your tax prep using PDFelement. Are you ready to start your tax workflow yet? I would like to share with you 5 tips on how to simplify it using PDFelement. And if you're not already a PDFelement user, what are you waiting for? Download it now via the link below. You can use PDFelement for Windows and macOS and the Wondershare Document Cloud to digitalize your documents, organize and access them all in one place, which makes tax prep a lot easier. So let's start with the first tip on how you can easily scan paper tax documents. The OCR optical character recognition feature of PDFelement, available for both Windows and macOS, allows you to quickly digitalize paper tax documents like W-2 forms, receipts, and invoices. For the demonstration, I'll be using a scan of this W-2 form as an example. So once you have either an image or a scan of your document, follow these steps. Step 1. Launch PDFelement and open the scan or image of the document that you want to work on by clicking on the Open File on the main page, or heading over to File and selecting Open, then selecting your scan or image from its folder location. Step 2. You will notice that PDFelement has recognized that this is a scanned PDF, and so you can perform OCR directly from here. If it hasn't been recognized, you can go to the Tool tab and select OCR from here. Step 3. The dialog box offers you a few options, so select those that are appropriate to your situation. Then hit Apply. Step 4. Wait for PDFelement to finish OCR process, and now your file is fully editable. Now let's have a look at the sharing features that PDFelement offers. So head over to File and select Share. From here you'll be able to upload your file directly to Evernote, Dropbox, Google Drive, Wondershare Cloud, OneDrive, and Box. I'm going to select Google Drive and wait for the file to be uploaded. You can now share your file from your chosen cloud service. Tip number 2. You can use PDFelement to collaborate on and share PDF tax documents easily with your business partners, accountants, etc. PDFelement has an abundance of features that makes this simple, like being able to highlight and comment on key information by following this. Once your document is open in PDFelement, head over to the Comments section. To highlight, click on the highlighter icon, and you will be able to drag your mouse cursor over the text to highlight it. You will also notice that PDFelement gives you the option to customize your highlight color every time you highlight a piece of text. If you want to leave a comment on the document, you can select the note icon from the ribbon toolbar. You can now click in a specific place on your document to leave notes. You can also further customize them by changing their color. You can also save the documents to your cloud so that they are stored in a secure place, and you can access them anywhere from any device by heading over to File, selecting Share, and choosing your cloud service. PDFelement will then automatically upload your file to your chosen platform. PDFelement is continuously improving its user experience, so always make sure that your software is up to date and you have access to the newest features. Since the 8.3.12 PDFelement update for Windows, you will also be able to reply to comments, which is very useful for collaborating with others in shared documents. To reply to a comment someone made in a PDF you have shared with them, you first have to double-click on the comment to expand it and select the Add Reply button, then type up your message. This helps you to keep track of all the comments that have been made, improving productivity. I would also like to share with you some more good news. In the Windows 8.3.16 update, you'll also be able to customize the font and font size of the text in your comments. So look out for this exciting addition. Tip number 3. Combine and organize your tax documents in one place. You can easily combine and organize all of your tax documents into one tidy file that you can then easily access and share by following these steps. To combine the documents, you need to use the Combine PDF button on the main page. A pop-up window will show up. Now add the files you wish to combine into a single PDF. They can be different formats, not only PDF files. Once you have added all of the files you want to combine, you can arrange them by clicking and dragging the files. After you order them, you can choose an output folder for where you want your combined PDF to be created and hit Apply. You can now also rename your combined PDF and hit Save. You will also notice that a table of contents has been created to help you see what's in the combined PDF and to navigate through it. You can now head over to the Page tab, from which you can further customize the page order by clicking and dragging the pages. Tip number 4. Keep your documents safe. Did you know that nearly 200 million taxes get filed electronically? When working with your accountant this year, you should ask them these questions to ensure that your data is safe from cyber attacks. Are you using encrypted email to transfer my financial information? Are all of my personal financial documents being stored in a secure vault? Does your firm have a proper information security policy in place? Maybe you can't control all of these yourself, but here is what you can do to keep your tax documents safe. PDFelement has 4 ways to protect your files, which are redacted PDFs, watermarks, digital signatures, and password protection. To password protect your documents, head over to the File and select Properties from the drop-down menu. In the dialog box, go into the Security tab and select Permissions, where you can set a password that will be required to open your PDF. You can further protect your PDF by restricting what can be done with it, such as restricting printing and making changes to the file. Now you can easily add password protection to confidently share your tax documents. Knowing your information is always secure. And now finally, tip number 5. Fill in your form using PDFelement. If you are struggling with a form that is unrecognized or an image, what should you do? You need to convert it into a recognized file first, and here's how to do it. For this demonstration, I'll be using this 1040 form. If your form is not automatically recognized by PDFelement, you can go to the Form tab and select More, which will open up a drop-down menu. From here, select Recognize Form. PDFelement should automatically identify all of the form fields. However, if there are some missing, you can add them manually by selecting the appropriate tool from the ribbon toolbar. Once the form fields have been identified, press the Edit to Preview slider, which will allow you to fill in the information by clicking on the form fields. When your file contains financial information, you should be cautious of the tools you use to process them and ensure that they are safe and reliable. PDFelement is one such tool, making headlines like this one. PDFelement nabs G2 Crowd Leader Badge for Winter 2022 in the document field. This reward has been granted to PDFelement for 16 quarters running. So this tax season, you can be sure to try out the most trusted and complete PDF solution to organize and manage your documents. Don't you agree? Well, the most important part is here. This tax season, what do we need to know first? Once you know this, it will accelerate your tax workflow and get your money back quicker. Top 5 refund facts of 2022. As we know, the 2022 tax season is in full swing, and some early tax fillers have already received their tax refunds. At last, I would like to share with you 5 important facts about tax refunds. Number 1, even though the IRS faces an unprecedented backlog and pandemic staffing issues, the agency still says you can expect your tax refund to arrive about 3 weeks after you file your tax return. Number 2, once you've submitted your tax return, you can start tracking the status of your refund within 24 hours using free tools from the IRS. Number 3, the best refund method recommended by the IRS is to file electronically and setting up a direct deposit, as it can help you get your refund issued within 21 days, assuming there are no errors, of course. The IRS Commissioner, Chuck Rittig, also announced in a January 24 statement, filing a paper tax return this year means an extended refund delay. Number 4, taxpayers claiming the Earned Income Tax Credit or Additional Child Tax Credit also get a slight delay. The IRS expects the earliest refunds for those filers to arrive March the 1st. And finally, number 5, be aware that April 18th, 2022 is the deadline for filing your taxes this year. One important thing to take notice of is that the IRS encourages taxpayers and tax professionals to file electronically once they have all the information they need to complete an accurate tax return. This helps to avoid delays in processing and issuing refunds, child tax credits, and reinstatement tax credits. PDFelement, Smart Scan, and Form Recognition are here to help you simplify your tax filing process, and the PDFelement team did not only produce this video to help you, but also a tax reason collection, which is a series of tips in an article where you can find more knowledge about tax refunds from the link below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and we will provide you with more industry information and office tips in the next video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the PDFelement channel to find more tips about productivity and PDFs. Thank you for watching.